Hey, it's Thursday, July 2nd, 2015, a.k.a. World UFO Day. Thank you, Vanessa. And welcome to the Alien Invasion number 149, a production of Galactic Netcasts. Along with Anessa and Brad, I'm Dave Nelson. Welcome, everybody.
Yay! It's good to be here.
Ooh.
Yeah, happy, number one, happy World UFO Day, but also happy in between Canada Day and July 4th.
Woohoo!
Yesterday was the big holiday here, and then Saturday for you guys is the big holiday.
That's when we celebrate our independence from England and tell them to suck it.
Yeah, for Canada, it was more like, hey, can we be our own country? Okay, that's fine. You can do it. That was pretty much how it worked in Canada.
Gee, that must have been nice.
Yeah, seriously.
We had to waste tea, and we had to wade through winters and sign documents.
Yeah, a lot messier.
A lot of paperwork.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, wherever you may be listening to this podcast, it's probably after both these days. Well, it's after for sure Canada Day, but probably is going to be after July 4th as well. Welcome everybody to the podcast where we talk about extraterrestrials in film, in science fiction, TV, comic books, video games, real life, getting abducted, seeing UFOs, wherever the aliens or the extraterrestrials may be, we talk about them, and we do it in three sections: the news, the sightings feature, and our picks for the week. If you'd like to watch us do the show live, we record it every Thursday around 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central, and you can do the translations for the rest of them. But just the easiest way to do to know when we're doing that is to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Google Plus, and we also archive the shows, and you can watch them later at youtube.com/Galactic Netcast. Now, Anessa and Brad, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Are y'all ready for this? You know what I could use, Dave Nelson?
Yes.
An ice-cold beverage that we could...
Maybe
I don't have that audio.
Shucks. Okay.
We captured an audio of Brad opening a can of pop before the show. I recorded it, tried to upload it to my soundboard, but for some reason that didn't work. But let's try it the old-fashioned way, shall we? Let's just do it that way. Click here. Here we go. Hang on. There we go.
There it is. That's the sound of a squirt can opening, huh? Yeah.
All right. How about we play this now? Stand by. In the news.
In the news.
All right. Anessa, you are going first this week.
Woo! Well, spoiler alert, there's going to be a couple of lists on this episode.
We like lists.
Yay! So yay, happy World UFO Day. And here's 13 sure signs that you've been abducted by aliens, but don't realize it. I found actually what started this list was metro.co.uk had a quiz that you could take. And essentially, if you answered yes to any of them, it meant that you were abducted by aliens, or as they put it, UFO'd. So I did another search and came across a list of 13, and apparently they've condensed that down from another website called Humans Are Free. I haven't had a chance to look up that list to see exactly how long it was, but it was compiled by abductees themselves. Nigel Watson, author of the UFO Investigations Manual, says ufologists who use these indicators have come to think that abductees are chosen rather than randomly snatched away. This is underlined by the fact that the whole generations of families have been plagued or blessed by alien abduction experiences. Hypnotic regression is often used to recall this information, but sometimes it is not necessary and it is spontaneously recalled. The consequences for the abductee can be good or bad. Abductees might become born-again Christians or become more spiritual and relaxed in general. On the bad side of the equation, they can take to drug, food, and alcohol abuse. Their behavior can become excessive and erratic, and what triggers these events could be psychological in nature, although abductee researchers think that the sheer number of people who report such indications rules out and points to a common, quote, abductee experience that is caused by alien visitors.
Can I interrupt for a second? This sounds a lot like PTSD in certain ways.
Yes, it does, because you have people that can end up kind of taking a turn for worse depending on what environmental factors there are. You know, there might be something that kind of sets them off, and they're like, "Oh gosh, this was a really horrible experience. I'm going to drown my sorrows in this bottle of booze or snort this crack or something." I don't know.
Snort this crack.
Is that what you do with crack? I have no idea.
I think you smoke crack.
Smoke the crack? I don't know.
It's not necessarily.
That just proves that you were never abducted because you don't know how to do the drugs.
I don't know how to do the drugs, and I believe you eat the heroin and inject the weed. Is that how that goes?
You rub the weed on your face.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's like an exfoliant.
You rub it; it goes through your skin pores.
So anyway, yeah, I can see how it can be similar to a sort of PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder, depending on how the abduction goes, because, you know, like they said, some people come out on the good end of the spectrum where they're more chill and more spiritual. They may or may not, you know, become more born-again Christians, but, you know, it's better than sitting alone at a hometown buffet or something, eating your sorrows away.
Story going.
Crying in your buffet.
Yeah. So, on to the list. Dave's the one who brought up the PTSD, so he got me started on the weird little tangent. But anyway, so the 13 symptoms: lost time, missing hours or days in which you cannot remember what happened. Does not include missing days due to alcohol. So, booze binges, not an excuse. You were not abducted.
Just
marks on your body. Humans are free suggests to look out, in particular for laser cuts on your ankles, wrists, or back. Laser cuts, that's crazy. I don't know what laser cuts look like versus
It's like master
scratches.
cuts, but not with scissors.
Are they just like super straight?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I have another beer.
Humming noises at night. Have you heard them? I mean, it could just be the AC. I don't know. Or the refrigerator humming. If you've got the dryer going. All right, next one is a feeling of being watched, especially at night.
Yeah, I could see how an experience like being abducted would make you feel that way all the time.
Yeah, a little paranoid.
Yeah.
Next on the list, which would be number 5, is sleepwalking. You are just a puppet in the hands of your alien masters.
I have my pick this week has something to do with being abducted, but it's got a very interesting twist, so I can't wait. I just wanted to bring that up because you were saying sleepwalking. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing it has something to do with sleepwalking.
Not necessarily, but
okay.
You'll find out.
Number 6 on the list is sinus problems, or indeed any form of sudden illness, got a rash, aliens.
So it's not ragweed or cats.
That explains why I itched incessantly for 2 months. Totally aliens. It explains my allergies. Again, aliens. This list, I'm an abductee.
You pretty much blame aliens on anything, sounds like.
Pretty much. Number 7, dreaming about owls or other animals such as wolves.
There. Oh, hang on. Never mind. I had a funny, but I don't think it's that funny, so I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Number 8, turning vegetarian.
Oh,
now
yeah.
I know why it happens.
Yep, that's it.
See, the vegetarian thing, I get. It's the vegan thing.
Explain. Okay, for us that can never remember the difference, what's the difference between those two?
Vegan has absolutely zero animal byproducts. Everything is, plant-based or whatnot. Vegetarians, depending on how loose or how strict of a vegetarian you are, you can still have dairy and possibly eggs. If you're a bad vegetarian. But yeah, you can still have dairy as a vegetarian. That's not a no-no. But vegan, it's nothing to do with animal products. So that's the hardcore commitment. And I gotta say, I don't think I could be vegan because one, I really dig bacon, and two, shit's expensive. If you go out and buy like soy milk and the bread that doesn't contain eggs and just it's a really expensive lifestyle in my opinion.
It takes commitment and cash.
Yep. So at best I would consider being a vegetarian, but come on man, bacon, how can you give that up?
It's true.
I mean, cheese, I could never give up cheese.
And see, that's why I could do the vegetarian thing, because at least you can get away with having cheese and milk and whatnot. That's cool. But yeah, couldn't do the vegan thing. Anyway, next on the list, low self-esteem. It's not you, it's extraterrestrials. Number 10.
So it wasn't enough. So it wasn't enough love from your father growing up. It's aliens.
Exactly. It's
mother.
Aliens.
Or mother, yeah.
Although, what if father was an extraterrestrial? Could still be father issues.
Oh, that'd be the worst. That explains his weird behavior.
A little bit. Number 10. Blood on your pillow. God only knows what they have done to you.
It's from the implants. The ones they stick up your nose.
Ooh, that explains the sinus issues.
Mm-hmm. See, it all comes together, man.
Exactly.
Ties in.
Number 11. Your TV goes funny, but only when you walk near it.
No, that's Thursday nights in the 1980s. That was must-see TV. Or was it the 90s?
Must-see TV, that was 90s, wasn't it? Or was it 80s and 90s? I remember it in the 90s.
Yeah, I think it morphed. I think it late 80s, early 90s, or all the 90s, whatever. Yeah.
Number 12, scary cupboard. Fear of your cupboard is a near certain indicator that terrible things have happened to your bottom while you slept.
Ooh. That was must-see TV was NBC in the 90s.
Okay. So explain this a little bit more. I don't understand this one. What does a cupboard have to do with your bottom?
I'm not entirely sure.
That's where I put mine. Duh.
Yeah, I don't really know what the connection is between the two. Maybe the cupboard represents your anus, and the cupboard should remain closed.
Then what is Venus and Pluto?
That's the pantry.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Okay. I really want somebody to actually explain this to me. It doesn't make any sense.
I have no idea. I'd have to see if I can find the original list and see if it explains it better. But yeah, if anyone has any input on number 12 about the scary cupboard, then feel free. And the final one.
Near certain indicator. It's not completely certain. It's near certain.
Or you could just be a loon.
Okay.
Or it could be something when you were a child, you opened up the cupboard and there was like this big hairy tarantula staring at you, and so you were traumatized by it. Doesn't have to be aliens.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
So let's bring it home. Let's bring it home, Vanessa.
All right, number 13. Taking vitamins compulsively. I kept telling myself it was because I wanted to be healthy, says one abductee.
Sucker.
Do you remember why? The actual reason why they needed to take vitamins?
Well, they kept telling themselves that they wanted to be healthy. I don't really know. I can tell you why I take vitamins, and it's usually during the winter, and because I do have vitamin D deficiency in the wintertime. But I don't say aliens. I just say lack of sunlight.
Okay. I just want to know what the connection is between aliens and vitamins.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe with all the testing and stuff, and they may have taken like so much blood or done whatever experiment, it might have left them feeling like, oh, I need such and such. You know, like how when you get hungry for like a certain thing. Like some people, for whatever reason, want to eat dirt because they lack certain minerals in their diet.
Okay.
And that might be something similar to where like all these tests have kind of drained them of certain minerals, and so they're like, oh, I really need vitamins, I really need potassium or calcium or whatever, and so they just start popping vitamins. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe that has something to do with the tests that are ran on the people.
That would be the most logical explanation.
That's my guess.
Okay. All right. Good guess.
And that's the list.
All right. So as you reflect back on your life here on World UFO Day, think about it. Think about your life seriously. Think about these things. It may not just be you have allergies causing those sinus problems or blood on the pillow.
Might be implants. Next time you reach for the Centrum vitamins, just think about why you're reaching for that bottle.
And why exactly did you turn into a vegetarian? Think about that. Really take stock in your life, of your life.
Exactly.
All right. Good list, Anessa. Thank you.
It was a strange list.
And we'll, of course, have the link in the show notes at the Galactic Netcast website, gncast.com. And by the way, if you can't get enough, if you want more news, if you have to have more news, we have a new feature on the website called the Alien Invasion Files. Similar stories to what we talk about here on the show, just in text form. So if you're jonesing midweek, like you just got done listening to the podcast, a couple days later, you're like, I need more alien-related news. Well, there's a place for it. The Alien Invasion Files at the Galactic Netcast website, gncast.com. So just remember that next time you're freaking out for more news. Because I know you do.
Duh.
All right. How would you guys feel about the character of Newt from the Aliens movie getting back into the franchise?
It depends on how they deal with some. Oh, we're getting echo for some reason. It depends on how they deal with Newt and Bishop being dead. I think in the fourth film.
Okay, well, this is not official canon. This is just a fan film. So the actress who played Newt, her name is Carrie Henn. That's Henn, who played the little girl who defied odds to escape the remote planetoid HV, whatever it was, overrun by, was it HV? Was H something, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, she was on the planet. It was overrun by the Xenomorphs. She escaped in the 1986 James Cameron sequel, and she is set to return to the screen almost 30 years later in Alien Identity. Was it LV something or other?
Almost have it.
Okay. So she's 39 years old now, and she will play Ann Jordan, young Newt's mother, in a flashback sequence for the movie, which is being directed by Adam Sonnett. Newt herself will be portrayed by the filmmaker's wife, Ellie Vianne Sonnett. You got it yet?
Yes, it's LV 426.
Okay. Write that down, everybody. LV 426. Got it. Okay. Just for future.
At the end.
What's that, Anessa?
I said there will be a quiz at the end.
Yes, there will. How'd you know?
That was a guess.
You're going to ace it.
Maybe.
Because you've been taking notes, right?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Mental notes.
Okay, so I guess she's been on the fan circuit for a while, appearing at conventions. So this is just a fan film that is being crowdfunded via Kickstarter at alien2.5.com. Alien2.5.com. Fans of the Alien series have long speculated on how Hen's career might have developed had her character not been written out by Alien 3 director David Fincher at the start of that film. Many remain angry at the way Newt was so quickly dispensed after audience had spent so much time rooting for her and Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley in Cameron's film. Yeah, she hasn't done anything since. She did Aliens and hasn't done, like, at least she hasn't done anything major since. Like, she hasn't become a huge movie star. She just is pretty much known for that one role, and she's coming back. She's back, baby.
Woohoo!
Rico Ross, who played the space grunt Private Robert Frost in Aliens, is also returning for the new film. He will play the role of Richard Frost, the late Robert's brother, as well as taking a producer's credit for the film. So again, it's Alien Identity, and if you want to know more and support it, you can go to alien2.5.com and support their Kickstarter campaign to get the thing off the ground and produced. Is this something that you guys would be interested in watching?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I'd give it a whirl.
I don't think it's probably going to be like a full feature. Probably only, maybe 15, 30 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I figured it'd be more of a short than a full movie.
Yeah. Well, these fan films usually are pretty short. Except for these Star Trek ones that they've been getting made the last few years are getting longer and longer. They've got that new one coming out. Well, they've got the Axanar movie being produced, but there's also that Star Trek Renegades, I think is what it's called. That's being released this summer. And that's like an hour and a half, something like that. I'm thirsty. Anybody want a beer?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here you go.
Oh, I can taste it already.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. All right, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Before we move on to Brad's, before we move on from the story, you guys have any final thoughts on this one? Anything you want to add?
I would be interested to see. Actually, I want to jump over there now and see where they're at with.
See how close they are to their goal?
Yeah. They're. Oh, come on. They're. What? Visit our pre-Kickstarter page. I click it. And
nothing?
It does nothing.
Pretty sure this is a new story. I mean, it was within the last week that the article was published, so I don't know.
Huh. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to Kickstarter.com.
Oh, and search it organically. Look it up the old-fashioned way.
You earn it.
You earn it.
Come on.
So how are you guys celebrating World UFO Day? You gonna go outside and look in the sky tonight?
I might have a beer.
You're done with that one already, Brad?
Oh, yeah. I drink like a fish. I'm from Wisconsin.
Here's another one.
Oh, that's so tasty.
I need to add a chugging sound effect in the back of that.
It is not live on Kickstarter yet.
Oh, okay. So maybe that was okay.
I think they're teasing it, getting the word out that they're going to be putting it out soon,
and that way, whenever it finally does roll out, then they've got more people that are aware of it and can donate sooner.
Yeah. They'll be chomping at the bit to give some money. Yes, exactly. Very smart of them. Okay, if you have any feedback on the stories that we're talking about on this episode of the Alien Invasion or on any of our shows recently, You can leave it by going to galacticnetcasts.com or gncasts.com. We've got a little thing where you can leave a voice message on each of our web pages. You just click on it. It's on the right-hand side. Click on it. Leave a message that way. You can also call our voicemail number, which is 805-328-3966. Again, 805-328-3966, or email galacticnetcasts@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on anything we've talked about here on this episode or on previous episodes. All right, Brad, you ready for your story?
Oh, I am so ready.
All right, let's dive in.
You know what? Forget little green men. Aliens will look like humans, says Cambridge University evolution expert.
No.
But
really?
then what if they're already among us?
Wait, hang on.
We don't even know.
Yeah, that's right. I said it. This is a story from the independent.co.uk. Professor Simon Conway Morris said extraterrestrials that resemble human beings should have evolved on at least some of the many Earth-like planets that have been discovered by astronomers. In his new book, The Ruins of Evolution, the University of Cambridge academic builds on the principle of convergent evolution, that different species will independently evolve similar features, with a comparison of the camera eye of an octopus and the human eye, a favorite example, and argues it will not just take place on Earth. The book is really trying to persuade the world that evolutionary convergence is completely ubiquitous. I love that word. Wherever you look, you see it. Quoted as saying, the whole business of extraterrestrial life, Kepler, the most Earth-like planet ever discovered, the search for extrasolar planets, and of course the various missions to Mars, this is all going along at such a pace at the moment, we can be reasonably sure any current ideas might be open for revision in a few years. His theory leads on to Enrico Fermi's famous paradox. Why, if aliens do exist, have we not made contact? Professor Conway Morris said, Fermi's paradox seems to be coming rather sharply into focus. If I'm on the right track, then the likelihood of intelligence, I need to start that over. If I'm on the right track, then the likelihood of intelligence is evolving and actively engaging in some sort of transgalactic expeditions doesn't seem to be completely beyond the realm of possibility. What Fermi didn't know when he asked that famous question was that the number of Earth-like planets is absolutely gigantic now. More problematic is that many of these solar systems far, far predate our solar system. They would have, in principle, a major head start of hundreds of millions, if not billions of years. Professor Conway Morris said one of the main themes in his new book was his desire to re-energize people and get their sense of curiosity running again. Convergence is demonstrable at every point in evolutionary history, he argues, from early cells through to the emergence of tissues, nervous systems, limbs, and the ability to make tools. He said there is a growing interest in convergent evolution, but I'm always willing to push it as far as I can. I'll always say, show me something which has only evolved once, and I'll try and jump up and say, no, I can give you another example, right in the face. I added the right in the face part.
Violent, Brad.
Convergence is ubiquitous. He loves that word too. It's like we're kindred spirits. It's like we're brothers. Sorry. Convergence is ubiquitous, and if you think complex things are difficult to make, well, with great respect, think again.
I thought you were going to say, with great respect comes great responsibility.
With great respect, suck it, said the Cambridge professor. No, he didn't say that.
Have you guys seen the ad for GoDaddy with the woman? Stick it?
No.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it's a Canadian thing only, but she's like everybody that didn't believe her. Oh, you guys don't have TV anyways, so you probably wouldn't see it. But
we have the internet. We could find it.
Yeah, she's like anybody who didn't believe in her. She calls up and basically says, "Stick it." So it's, stick it, Grandma, stick it.
Oh, I found it.
Okay. Sorry for sidetracking you like that.
No, that's fine. It's still based on something I said. You're mentioning the Stick It lady from GoDaddy.
Yeah.
Just do a search. GoDaddy, Stick It. Boom. First thing you find.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Well, that's all there is to it. That's what he said. Think again. And that's it. So what he's basically saying is, based on the fact when Fermi came up with his theory, it was assumed that there were very few Earth-like planets in space. And now that we have the appropriate tools, we know that that's not the case. So that really calls some things into question. One, there are a lot more Earth-like planets. Two, a lot of them are older than us. So three, that even makes it weirder. More weird? However you want to phrase that. We should have found something by now. So what the heck's going on?
Isn't there another theory that states that civilizations will never get beyond a certain point? They'll like kill themselves out before they get to the point where they can develop the technology to for intergalactic travel. Isn't
Probably.
that a?
They'll just kill each other. Yeah.
I have another question for you guys. Oh, never mind. I'm trying to find your favorite word, Brad.
I found it.
That's going to be the title of
Ubiquitous.
What I think. I like it a lot.
There, I put it in there so it's shared for all. Ubiquitous, right. Stick it.
All right. Are you guys ready to move on?
Absolutely. I think we've milked the Ubiquitous and Stick It and Fermi for as long as we possibly can.
All right. I think it's time. Here we go.
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
Black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering minutes.
Shaped like almost like between an egg and like a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
We had a dome. I could see the occupants in it.
It appeared to be rotating, and it was on circular to disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
It is time for sightings, and Nessie put something together, something special for World UFO Day, correct?
Yes, it is a list of 7 alien sightings, well, UFO sightings, that USA Today Network put together to kind of look at some of the more popular stories. And some of these we've talked about before. I don't know if we've mentioned all of them, but we've mentioned most of them. But I figured it would be a good idea for World UFO Day if people haven't listened to us before and it's their first time listening in. I think it's a good start.
So these are the real popular, really big ones that people know a lot about.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially number 3. So number 1, we have Nuremberg, Germany, in April 1561. Witnesses described seeing globes, crosses, and plates battling it out in the sky. Drawings and wood cuttings from the time depict the unusual sighting, which I need to look this up because I haven't seen those before.
Holy crap, 1561.
1561. Just automatic, I wanted to say 1961. I'm like, nope, that's totally not a 9. So, number 2, Aurora, Texas, in April 1897. Local lore has it that the cigar-shaped object allegedly hit a windmill, causing it to crash. An alien body was discovered in the wreckage and buried in an unmarked grave, according to the legend. The Texas Historical Commission erected a sign that mentions the, quote, legend that a spaceship crashed nearby in 1897 and the pilot killed in the crash was buried here, unquote.
What?
I'm going to have to check that out. I need to figure out where Aurora, Texas is, though. I'm not sure.
Huh.
Don't you know every single town in Texas? What kind of Texan are you?
It's a big state, and I was only there for 33 years.
That's no excuse.
Now I'm kind of curious about where Aurora, Texas is. Hang on.
The whole windmill thing.
Oh,
kinda...
okay. It's in North Texas. All right. It's in Wise County. Anyway, so the whole what?
The windmill thing kind of reminds a person of a propeller.
Yeah.
If it were a plane type device. Maybe somebody developed a plane or invented the plane, went back in time.
Well, it just says that it hit a windmill.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
it just said that it was cigar-shaped object hit a windmill. So
Oh, okay. I
the
thought it had a
propeller thing
windmill
was already going on. We already figured out the windmill thing, but not quite sure on the flying thing.
All right. So number 3 is this one's probably the most well-known one.
Yep. Roswell. Roswell.
Roswell.
Roswell. July 1947. Roswell has become synonymous with UFOs. A rancher discovered debris from a crashed airborne object. Some people said they thought that the debris from a spacecraft and even saw alien bodies. The Air Force said in a 1994 report that the material came from experimental surveillance balloons, and any bodies were dummies in the balloons. But many remain convinced the government covered up an extraterrestrial visit. Bum, bum, bum. Number 4. Washington, D.C. in July 1952.
Hey! I had this as my my sighting a while ago. Were you on the episode then, Vanessa?
Probably not.
Okay, yeah.
So, but like I said, we've talked about some of these before, and
Yep.
so, and I'm sure some of these we'll talk about again. So, a series of sightings were reported over the nation's capital. Washington National Airport and Andrew Air Force Base detected the objects on their radar, according to the Washington Post. In 1952, the Air Force launched Project Blue Book to collect and analyze potential threats in the air. Air Force Major General John Samford held a press conference at the end of July 1952 to address unidentified sightings, opening with, "I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers." The incident has since been attributed to temperature inversion. The warm air can create a ceiling that causes radar beams to bounce down. Objects on the ground, moving cars, a row of telephone poles, can appear to be thousands of feet in the air, the Post reported in 2012.
Yeah, and the discussion that we had about it, I had the continuing information that Project Blue Book later on came back and said, no, it wasn't temperature inversion. They couldn't explain it. They marked it as unexplained.
Maybe I was on the episode because I remember the temperature inversion thing, unless we've talked about temperature inversion for other sightings, which is possible.
Yeah, that's possible.
But then, yeah, I was probably there for the sightings. There's a lot of sightings we talk about.
It's a fact.
So, number 5, Chicago, Illinois, in November 2006. An object was spotted hovering over gate C-17. I'm pretty sure I've landed at that gate before. At O'Hare International Airport. Some witnesses told Chicago Tribune that they were upset that neither the government nor the United Airlines, which operates the C terminal, was going to investigate the sightings. So that was pretty much it for that.
There was multiple witnesses on that. I've done some reading on that incident, and there was multiple people that saw it.
Yeah, I would be kind of upset too if there were a group of people that saw something and told the airlines and the government, and they're like, that's nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. This is swamp gas. It's fine.
We got this.
Number 6, Stephenville, Texas, in January 2008. Dozens of people said they saw a large, low-flying object with bright lights. 2 nearby Air Force bases said that none of their craft were in the area. And I remember talking about this and reading about this as well. But they had witnesses like, I think the sheriff deputy and retired Air Force people, and there was just a large number of witnesses that were like, yeah, this was totally not an airplane when they saw it. So
yeah, I watched a show on this, or I watched a part of a show on this week on one of those UFO documentary shows.
Oh, cool.
Programs.
So
the program.
I've driven through Stephenville many times. Never seen a UFO. I feel cheated.
As well you should.
And number 7, Jerusalem in January 2011. Witnesses and at least 3 cameras reportedly spotted a bright light hovering over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem before suddenly shooting upward. The sighting was likely a hoax, said an Israeli TV station. That's quite a hoax.
Yeah.
3 cameras.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
You gotta want that really bad.
Yeah. So. So yeah, there you go. List of 7 UFO sightings for World UFO Day.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ta-da!
Excellent. See, I know this is not going to go out as the final version on World UFO Day, but you can prep for next year's World UFO Day by boning up on incidents, all those incidences, become an expert on those incidences, maybe. And then next year's World UFO Day, you can be like an expert, and you can impress your friends by your UFO knowledge.
Or scare them away, depending on your friends.
That's true. Well, if they were good friends, they wouldn't be scared away by this because they would love you and support you no matter what you said or did.
Exactly. That's how you find out who your true friends are.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what the even better sign of a true friend is?
What?
A friend that tells other friends about Galactic netcasts.
Sweet.
And we want you to do that. And that is the best way for us to grow as a network because we're striving to add more listeners. We're striving to get bigger with more subscribers. So why don't you, before next week, tell at least one friend or family member, tell the whole family. Tell one friend or a family member about this podcast or our other podcasts on the Galactic Netcast Network. Or you can also do this. You can go to gncasts.com/subscribe, and that page will give you links and more information about this and all of our other podcasts, all of our other fine audio programs that Galactic Netcasts produces every week, and how you can receive them for free automatically in whatever way you listen to your podcasts every week. So gncast.com/subscribe, or just do us the other favor of telling your friends and family about the alien invasion and just Galactic Netcasts in general. We would really appreciate that.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, let's do our picks.
Woo!
Yeah, we should.
These are stuff that we've listened to, watched, read, played, taken into our entertaining orifices this past week, all relating to.
I'll tell you which orifice I did not take this particular pick into.
Your ear?
I think we should call an audible on our title. I didn't really mean to say that, but that's almost better than
ubiquitous orifices.
I like the combination of things. That's nice.
There you go.
Or is the plural of orifices orify?
Orify, yes, it would be.
Or
I don't know. Yeah.
Huh.
Anyways, okay, this is stuff that we have watched or whatever, and we want to recommend to you. And Brad, I believe Brad and Nessa have a shared pick this week.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
So I was browsing through the Amazons, and I found a movie that was called Earth versus the Flying Saucers. And unfortunately, it's not one that you can stream if you have Amazon Prime. It's one that you have to rent. So I rented this movie, and I was like, hey, Brad, would you like to watch this movie that I rented with me? And he said, sure.
And I said, well, I could either punch myself in the genitals, or I could watch this film. And my arms are tired.
Okay, so a few minutes in, were you regretting your purchase of this movie?
Oh, no.
No, actually, no. I really enjoyed it. And for a 1956 UFO flick, the graphics were really good. I was quite impressed. It wasn't like an aluminum pipe plate upside down with some fishing line flying around. This was legit because you had what's his name, Ray
Harryhausen, yeah,
doing the effects, and so he does a lot of like stop motion animation. So.
And it was directed by Fred Sears, which for some reason was like hitting something in the back of my head, and I've been kind of looking through a lot of his stuff, and he did a lot of westerns. So this film came out in 1956. So at this point you've kind of hit the height of UFO. Not the height. The height is the wrong word. At the point where people really wanted sci-fi, and you started to see an explosion of alien or science fiction based films. But they got Harryhausen to do the effects of the saucer, which and not just the saucer, let me take that back. Like some of the buildings that get blown up by the flying saucer are miniatures, and you can kind of tell by how they break apart when they explode. But for its time, the effects were really good.
Yeah.
Only a minor bit of era-based misogyny.
Little bit. The wife tries to, give herself more of a purpose. The wife of the scientist, Dr. Marvin. And she tries to include herself as like helping, because she was his assistant before they got married.
Secretary.
Yep. That's right, before they got married. And so she's always trying to give herself more credit, and they just kind of like, oh, that's nice, dear.
Oh, hey now. Ease up, Missy.
Let me ask you guys a related question. Was there smoking in this movie?
Yes.
How did I know that?
Smoking in a car. Actually smoking everywhere.
Oh yeah, there's all the smoking.
Yeah. No, and a lot of the movies that we've watched from this time period, we tend to make fun of a lot. And with this one, there wasn't really a whole lot of that. There was just, a couple little bits here and there. But for the most part, it was something that we actually sat down and enjoyed watching. And essentially, the gist of the movie is you have the scientist, Dr. Marvin, who's been sending up these rockets out into space. And the purpose of the rockets are observational. They're there to make observations. Nothing as far as weaponry or anything like that. They just doing experiments, doing studies. And as he's sending them up there, he's losing communications with them. And it turns out that you have these UFOs basically blasting them down from space. And at some point, the UFOs, the aliens reach out and try to communicate, but their speed in regards to our speed just doesn't mesh, and so what we hear is a bunch of gibberish because they're just talking way too fast. And we can't make out what they're saying.
Yes.
But no, I highly recommend giving it a watch. You can find out what the deal is, why they're communicating, what their purpose is. Yeah, I think it was $2.99 to rent on Amazon, or you could purchase it digitally for like $12.99.
Okay.
So
was there any? I forgot. Did you guys say this at the beginning? Was there any like major stars in this?
Not
there were
really.
Well, there was maybe like one or two faces that looked familiar to me, but I couldn't quite place where I'd seen them before. But it wasn't anything like, oh, hey, that's so-and-so from this movie, or it's that guy from that movie. It was like, oh, well, he looks kind of familiar. I wonder where I've seen him from. So it wasn't like a huge name production, at least not huge for us. It might have been back then.
Yeah, the main actor, I'm looking at his credits, and he's kind of that guy. He's appeared in the Alfred Hitchcock Hour and all sorts of, TV, Rawhide, Tales of Wells Fargo, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Andy Griffith Show. He's just had one or two appearances here or there, but he
Yeah, and
He was a good actor.
His wife was in like The Rifleman and 20 Million Miles to Earth.
It's so funny how back in the 1950s and early 1960s, all you had basically was westerns and sci-fi. There wasn't too many other genres that were popular during that time.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So
it, because I love that era of sci-fi so much, a lot of it for its cheese, but some of it just because they were trying out a new genre and trying to find what was successful and what was good. And I would rate this, higher than most. I would rate this up where The Day the Earth Stood Still, not quite Forbidden Planet. For me, that's like the ultimate in in that era of sci-fi film, but it's pretty close. So it's about, what is it?
like an hour and a half?
Yeah, it's 83 minutes long, so just shy of an hour and a half. And for $2.99, if you've got Amazon, you should give it a watch.
Yep.
All right, maybe in honor of World UFO Day
Absolutely.
next year. Before, it probably won't be
a
this time.
belated World UFO celebration.
Yeah, you could watch it now and go, oh, this is for last year.
Oh, you know what? That's like the whole birthday party thing where you have a family with multiple birthdays during a certain time of the year or a certain part of the month. And you get together. It may not necessarily be your birthday, but you're celebrating that combined birthday. Yeah.
See? Boom. There you go.
Or the family can't get together for Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, so they do it like on the Sunday after or something like that.
Yep.
All right.
Nice.
We solved it. Okay. Good job, guys. My pick is a lot shorter than yours. From 83 minutes, you guys said, right?
Yes.
How about 4 minutes? I picked a very, very short film. It's called U.F.Oh Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm going to tell you the whole thing. I'm going to spoil this baby for you, because if I don't spoil it, I won't be talking very long. And I have to tell you the gist of it, because it won't be a satisfying enough payoff for me just to stop and not give you the big reveal. So, basically, it's about a guy who does some kind of webcast, sort of like what we're doing, but I think it's more along the lines of a vlog on YouTube, where he's very much a conspiracy theorist, saying he truly believes that aliens and UFOs are out there. So he gets done one night with his webcast on YouTube or wherever, and he's looking for something to eat, and all of a sudden the room starts shaking. You start hearing noises, and there's lights flashing outside. So he's freaking out. What's going on? He goes outside, and there it is. The aliens have arrived. They've arrived to take him on their spaceship, so he can finally experience what he's been talking about for so long on his vlog on YouTube. So nice. the light comes down, and he's like, "Take me away. I'm yours." He's like a willing participant. And what I didn't tell you is he's a bigger man. He's got some girth to him. I'd say that he's probably morbidly obese. And I don't know how to say this, but the beam that comes down can't pick him up.
Aww.
That's so sad.
I know, it's sad. I felt really bad for. I'm like, oh my god, he finally gets his chance, and the aliens can't get him up, and the UFO is struggling, it's bending over, it's really, really trying to suck him up into the craft. So, but it's a happy ending because the UFO actually falls out of the sky, and he gets to be on the paper, the front page of the paper. So-and-so abducts a UFO. So instead of being an abductee, he's an abductor. So he's like the first human to ever actually win in a human versus UFO. So that's my pick. A short film called U.F.Oh Yeah, and you can watch it on YouTube. We'll have the link in the show notes.
When you say that, it just sounds dirty.
UF.
UF.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want a beer. All right.
There. All right.
So there you go. We'll have our links to our picks in the show notes of the podcast. And don't forget, we also put our complete show notes on our YouTube video. So they're not just on our website and on wherever you get the podcast, those show notes, they're also on the YouTube page as well. All right. Before we get out of here, a couple of things I want to remind you of and ask you to do for us. If you go to iTunes and subscribe to our podcast, please leave us 5 stars if you like what we're doing, and give us some kind of favorable review. That helps us, again, get more subscribers, more listeners. And that's also a feature on Stitcher. You can at least leave a review. You can't do stars, right? It's just a review process on Stitcher. Am I right?
It's a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay. So thumbs up, thumb us up. Give us a thumb and a positive review on Stitcher. Also, visit our website, gncasts.com, and become a member of the Galactic Collective. There's a little image on the upper left-hand side of the front page where you can click on it and get all the information about how you can join the Galactic Collective. Dun, dun, dun. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Alien Invasion, everybody. Thanks for listening. And, of course, before we get out of here, final thoughts. Brad, as always, you are first.
Hey.
Hi.
We got a couple of things here. We got the 10th Doctor, David Tennant's Doctor, with the 3D glasses finally for our Doctor Who collection that we have of Funko Pop figures. And I have a Cthulhu.
Nice. Very nice.
Intergalactic Devil Lord sort of a thing.
Hey, speaking of Doctor Who, stick around after the podcast. We have Who Knew with Daryl right after we're done here. So
what?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
We take the episode with the latest in Doctor Who news right after the alien invasion. So no, it's cool, Brad. Your collection is growing by the week. I
really love
it. It really
this.
is.
I really love this Funko Pop TARDIS.
The Funko Pop stuff is really addictive.
It is. It's terrible. Terrible.
Just terrible.
Terrible.
All right, Anessa, what's your final thought?
I'm shopping for silver crucifixes. Kind of random. But no, for some reason I had the urge to make a rosary for my mom. And
oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Not even Catholic.
Your mother is.
My mother
for clarification.
is. Yes, I am not. But I felt like I needed to make a rosary, and so I've started working on the decades, and the cool thing about making the rosary is I'm learning all sorts of stuff about it because I have no idea. I grew up as a Baptist. But like the bead on the rosary signifies different things, and so I've got everything to make the rosary except for the crucifix at the end. So I've been kind of browsing around the internets for that because the local Christian shop for something that's not even silver, I think $40-50 is kind of pricey.
Yeah, you could probably find one. Just keep on stopping into like.
I've been looking at like Amazon. There's CatholicParts.com and all sorts of various Catholic stores online, and also eBay. So.
All right, you'll have to show that off when you're done, Anessa. Yes. I'd love to see it.
So hopefully it looks okay.
I'm sure
At least it'll serve its purpose. So.
All right, thanks Thanks, Anessa. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, everybody. And we will talk to you guys next time.
All right.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy World UFO Day.
Happy World UFO Day.